Alright boys, I'm about to do the unthinkable and defend Jake Paul. What? Don't all unsubscribe at once. Hear me out. Before we dive into today's video, I just want to say big thanks to all the engagement and all the love and support on yesterday's video. It's like my most engaged video ever in terms of views to like ratio, so I appreciate that. I was actually going to do a video covering Andrew Tate's recent boxing footage, but YouTube blocked the content and I almost got a community guidelines strike. So it looks like I'll have to do that video on Rumble, so here's my channel. If you're on Rumble, go and give us a little follow on there. But Jake Paul, he's me mate now. All these people who I'm calling out are now me best mates. Me and Zerge were best mates. Jake Paul's next. He's going to be the homie. Won't be long before I'm doing IRL streaming with him. Nah, but all jokes aside, Jake Paul recently announced his next fight, and it's going to be held on December 15th. And there's a little bit of controversy surrounding this fight. People are being quite harsh on Jake, and here's why. So it all started drama alert sharing this. Has Jake Paul lost his selling power? Jake Paul's next fight will be held in a hotel at Caribbean Royal Orlando. The venue only holds 4,400 people, and I guess this is the venue right here. And people are giving him a bit of a hard time about this. So as you can see here, has Jake Paul lost his selling power? People are saying because this venue only holds 4,400 people, it's a massive step down. Who is Andre August? No one knows this boxer. No one's going to be tuning into this. And also, what's worse, it's not even going to be on pay-per-view. It comes as a part of the subscription for DAZN. Turns out Jake Paul's next fight isn't even a pay-per-view, and it's included in the DAZN subscription for future events. Do you think he has pay-per-view selling power? So I just wanted to do a quick video discussing this and defending Jake in this instance. We are used to looking at Jake Paul through the lens of an influencer who is boxing, and Jake Paul has only boxed other influencers or retired MMA fighters. We got Gib, we got Nate Robinson, then he went into the retired MMA fighter era where it was Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley ×2, Anderson Silva, and then Tommy Fury and Nate Diaz. Next, he's actually got a professional boxer. Now, what happened the last time he fought a professional boxer in Tommy Fury? He lost, but the saving grace was that he fought a professional boxer, and it was no longer a retired, past the prime MMA fighter. Now, for those that don't know, here's some details about Andre August. So he's 10-1 with 5 KOs, and he's a professional boxer, so he's pretty decent, and that's more KOs than Jake. Remember, he's got a pretty solid record. He's got a few things going against him. He's 35 years old, so he's not really going to be one of these boxers who's getting better and who's championship material, who's going to be challenging for any sort of title in the next few years. If anything, he'll probably win a few, lose a few, and then eventually retire. And let me just add, people think that 35 years is old. It's not. But when you're talking about trying to climb your way up the ranks in professional boxing, professional fighting, professional MMA, whatever, 35 is a little bit older. It's on the back end of your career. And let me just segue a little bit. I get a lot of DMs. I get a lot of you guys asking in the comments, I'm 28 years old and I want to start martial arts. Is it too late? I'm 34 years old. I want to start martial arts. Is it too late? I'm 45 years old. Is it too late? Look, my friends, it is never too late. If you want to compete professionally, then yeah, it probably is a little bit too late unless you're some sort of Yoel Romero genetic freak. But if you just want to be able to defend yourself, your girl, and your family a little bit better, walk around with your chest held high and feel confident in yourself, knowing that you can handle yourself, then there's nothing wrong with getting started with martial arts. Even if you was friggin' 65, it's better than nothing. You just have to compare yourself to yourself, that's it. Unless you're going in for professional fighting. I'm not going in to be a professional fighter, so I don't care that I'm not the best fighter. Now, can I fight? Yeah, certainly. Have I got the best technique? Have I got 0 holes in my game? Of course not. I know when I eventually get a fight booked and I start putting footage out there of me getting back into it, there's going to be people online with a lot to say, but I'm not trying to be a professional. I do it to keep fit, be able to defend myself, and a little bit of a personal challenge, and that's how you have to look at it. It's all about you and your journey and your personal growth that you get from martial arts, not what anyone else thinks. So now that I've finished that segue, back to Andre August. So as I say, he's 35 years old, he's 5'10", which is a little bit on the shorter side for the cruiserweight division. But 5'10", it's not that bad because he is quite a thick individual. Mike Tyson was 5'10", and remember him, he was a tank. He was like the scariest heavyweight there was. And I know it's silly comparing this dude to Mike Tyson, but you get me point. You have to look at frame size as well. Jake Paul's 6'1", he's obviously a little bit taller. Andre August, 5'10", but he's built a little bit more like a tank, so he makes up for that size discrepancy with a little bit more muscle mass and a little bit more thickness and density on his frame. Now here's another thing thing that's working against this Andre August. This is the Jake Paul fight he's got coming up right here at the top. Before that, he's only fought once in the last 4 years. So here was his last fight against this Brandon Martin individual, and that was in August, so relatively recent. But his previous fight before this last one was in November 2019. So it's a little bit of inactivity. Now, granted, he's got back into the ring, so hopefully he will have shaken off some of that ring rust. And also his last KO, which you can see right here, just next to my webcam, next to my head, was in February 2019. So he's had a little bit of inactivity, and he hasn't finished anyone since 2019. And I've seen quite a few people online, they haven't got much faith in this Andre August, because when he lost in 2018 against this Eric Abraham, this Abraham boxer doesn't have the best record. 7 wins and 16 losses, 13 by KO. So if this dude is able to KO Andre August, then what's Jake going to do to him? But he is on a 5-fight win streak since then. That was a long time ago, so he will have made some significant improvements since then. We can't judge him on that loss. But let's take a little look at what people are saying under this tweet. This guy says, he's an influencer, box other influencers. Not to say he isn't popular, but what is he doing? Does he have standalone power? Not at all. Not anymore. Them days are over. He never had any selling power. He was using the names of the people he was fighting. That's what brought the people in. This guy has no name, so nobody cares. And these comments are very short-sighted, and I'm glad that they haven't got any likes on them, because this guy here knows what he's talking about. He says, nah, he's taken the appropriate boxing approach now, working his way up. Exactly. Perfectly put right there. This is my point. Then someone else said, low-key, this is good. Fight actual boxers, get better, then build up bigger fights once you have more credibility. These two comments summed it up perfectly, hence why they've got the most likes. What were we saying about Tommy Fury a few months ago? We were saying Tommy Fury needs to fight actual boxers. What's he doing fighting an influencer? If he wants to be a world champion, then he needs to fight actual boxers, needs to work his way up. Pretty much every professional boxer fights no names. They fight journeymen. It's always the case, and this Andre August isn't really a journeyman. He's a decent boxer, and Jake has actually said that he wants to become world champion. If he doesn't want to become world champion, he certainly wants to build his way up through the boxing ranks. And how else do you do it? Fighting influencers? No, of course not. You fight real boxers. And look, who's going to have more star power? An influencer with a few million followers, or a pro boxer who's 10-1? It's going to be the influencer. Therefore, you're going to get more pay-per-views and be able to sell out stadiums and arenas when you're fighting other influencers, because you've got more total fan base to sell to. Think about people's attention and eyes on a fight as a spectrum. Jake jumped in at level 9. He's made a little bit of money down here at level 9. But where does he go from there? Does he just keep fighting bigger and bigger stars to the point where he's having a boxing match with LeBron James? No. There comes a point he has to go back down on the spectrum to fight the professional boxers and build his name within boxing, not influencer boxing. They're two completely different things. People on Twitter, which might be my new favorite platform, so make sure you go and follow me, are acting like the one and the same. They're completely different. Another guy said it perfectly here. He understands that interest will be low, so he doesn't want to invest too heavily. This isn't about making money. He's trying to become a real prospect. The big events will come down the road if he keeps on winning. Exactly. Look at it this way. The majority of real boxers and boxing fans aren't tuning in to watch Jake Paul fights. But if Jake Paul consistently wins against professional boxers, there will come a point when actual real boxing fans and professional boxers will want to tune into Jake. He's trying to build his name and command respect within the actual boxing scene now. Jake Paul deserves respect for this. I never thought I'd find myself saying this stuff, but think about it. A lot of these influencers have big egos. Jake Paul's going to go from selling out arenas, selling hundreds of thousands of pay-per-view buys, to now boxing in this little arena with 4,400 people watching, and it's not on pay-per-view. That can mess with your head. It can mess with your ego. It's the same thing that YouTubers talk about. 1 minute they're getting millions and millions and millions of views. Next thing, they're not relevant anymore, and they're not getting as many views. It hurts you. It messes with your mind. We have to give Jake Paul respect here. He's going from up here fighting professional MMA fighters, or retired champions, should I say, to down here fighting boxers who no one knows. So personally, I think this is a good move by Jake. This is Andre August here, showing some skills on the pads. Everyone's hating in the comments, saying he's fighting a 35-year-old. Once again, people acting like as if 35 years old is old. In the boxing world, to become a champion, yeah, definitely so. This guy put it good. I see so many people complaining about this. Y'all said you want him to fight pro boxers. Are you expecting him to jump in with top 15 guys? Jake is not that good. Like it or not, this is Jake's level right now. Exactly. This could actually be a very competitive fight, and he has got a chance to win. He's a professional boxer and is going to be training hard. Think about the clout and the attention that he will get by beating Jake Paul. It might not do much for him rising up the ranks, but it'll certainly do a lot just for his name. People will want to interview him. He'll be on podcasts. His social media following will blow up. He'll make more money. And this guy said it's a solid fight to start building towards more serious competition. If world titles is truly what he wants, this is the place to start. Exactly. So what do you guys think of this situation? Do you think Jake Paul needs to fight someone with a better record, or is this the right path? Do you agree or disagree with what I'm saying? Comment down below. I want to know your thoughts. And remember, boys, we're on the quest to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're on 91,000 at the moment. I appreciate all the love and support on the channel. Make sure you like this video, subscribe with those notifications turned on, and I'll see you tomorrow.